Hey gang, today our grammar lesson is going to be short and sweet and it's going to be on incomplete comparisons. Now, you might be asking yourself, what is an incomplete comparison? Well, essentially it's exactly what it sounds like. It's a comparison where you haven't completed grammatically the entire sentence or entire thought. Now, this happens frequently, mainly because you and myself as writers, when we write, in our heads, we know exactly what we're talking about. So oftentimes we'll leave out information that might be valuable to a reader, but we do not recognize as the writer that the reader needs this information because in our head, we know what we're talking about. So here's some examples. Mr. Shador's chemistry class is more difficult. Well, more difficult than what? More difficult than um, rocket science, more difficult than hopscotch, more difficult than what? Okay, so that is an incomplete comparison. We need to add whatever we need to add on the end. Sam Milicic is worse at football. So actually, just a second, going back, we'll say Mr. Vokes calculus class. Okay, Sam Milicic is worse at football than who? There. Now it is a complete comparison. And lastly, my car is newer than his. Than his what? Now this is a more common example of where we see mistakes made because you think it's obvious that it's his car. However, because you're talking about a different subject, it's not. You need to add the car. Then his house. It could be anything. Okay, so we need to make sure we complete the comparison. Now you might be asking yourself, now how do I know how much information I need? Because in this sentence, my car is newer than his. I thought that that was correct. Well, here's the trick. Trick to avoiding incomplete comparisons is that you need to be able to determine what the complete subject on the front side of the comparison is. However much information is included on the front side in the subject needs to be included on the back side. So for instance, in our first sentence, it's Mr. Shador's chemistry class. That is the complete subject. So if we're going to correct that, we need to have, so even if we said Mr. Vokes, well, that's not enough information because this says chemistry class. So even if it were Mr. Vokes' chemistry class, we still need that information because without it, you're not telling the reader specifically what class it is. So you need to include the same amount of information. In this sentence, Sam Milicic is worse at fantasy football. Sam Milicic is the complete subject. So in this sentence, by simply adding Mr. Van Eperen, that is fine because you have one person as the subject, one person as the subject. And then lastly, my car is newer than his. You have the pronoun my, or the possessive pronoun my, followed by the noun car. So you need to have both the possessive and the noun on the backside. So it's his car. Now let's say, for instance, during the course of your writing, you're talking about cars, and you wrote a sentence, mine is newer than his. In this instance, now this is a complete comparison because if you look at the subject, the complete subject on the front end, the complete subject is mine. It's solely the possessive pronoun. So all you need on the back side of the pronoun or the comparison is the possessive pronoun, and we have that. Now, the easiest way to identify kind of the divider between the front side of the comparison and the back side is that quite frequently, or almost always, will be some form of the word to be. So in this case, we have the word is in all of our sentences. Okay, so is, was, were, are, any form of that verb to be will be the cutoff in between the front side and the back side. All right, that's pretty much all there is to it. Incomplete comparisons are also one of these tools that only exist as errors. It's not really a tool as much as it's just a grammar error you need to be aware of and be able to correct. So for your mastering activity, I've provided you with 6 sentences that have incomplete comparisons. So what you need to do is you need to rewrite each one of these sentences in some kind of document. Make sure that you have complete comparisons written, and then you can submit that to me in any way you choose fit, as long as you let me know what that is, and I will award you your proficiency points for this skill. As always, if you have any questions, please let me know. That's what I'm here for. Okay, I'd be happy to help you out. Other than that, hopefully this will help us with our writing, and hopefully you'll have no problem hammering out this mastering activity. Have a good day.